Sports require discipline and focus, which is why it's pretty understandable why they're not for everyone. However, it's surprising to know that a lot of athletes actually have ADHD, which makes them all the more admirable considering the nature of their condition. And for today's video, we'll be listing down several famous athletes with ADHD that will leave you inspired. So make sure you tune in if you want to know more about these sports celebrities. These aspiring athletes have come forward to share their personal experiences with ADHD, following in the footsteps of sports legends like Terry Bradshaw and Pete Rose. A startling proportion of professional sportsmen, like Michael Phelps, suffer from attention deficit disorder, ADHD. In fact, compared to 4 to 5% of the general adult population, 8 to 10% of all professional athletes are thought to have the illness. A correlation between ADHD and athletics, according to many specialists, makes sense. For youngsters with ADHD, having ADD might potentially be a benefit in several sports, according to Mike Stabino, author of The ADHD-Affected Athlete. While some activities require intense concentration, that's not always the case with athletics. Everything happens instantaneously, Stabino explains in the book. You're in there for 10 minutes. You've got 5 people trying to take your head off, 3 referees, 4 teammates. You need to take in everything that's going on all at once. That's how people with ADD go through life, so it makes sense that they thrive in this field. ADHD undoubtedly comes with its share of difficulties. The fact that many sportsmen are unaware they have the illness, according to doctors, is maybe the largest risk. The president of the International Society for Sports Psychiatry, Eric Morse, MD, claimed that many athletes suffer from ADD but are unaware of it, and it's understandable, according to Stabino, who is the father of 2 ADD children. He claims that since athletes are skilled at what they do, it's likely that no one ever thought to test them for ADD. Sure, the pitcher might be a little erratic, but so long as he can hurl a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, who cares? Few athletes with ADD are open about it, even among those who are aware of it. No one wants to acknowledge a weakness in athletics, according to Morse, and they are frequently afraid of what it might do to their career. Despite the dangers, an increasing number of athletes have come forward to admit they have the disorder. These athletes include Pete Rose, whose ADD likely contributed to his 1975 World Series MVP award, and current Major League all-time hit record, Michael Phelps, the first American to win 8 medals in a single Olympic Games, and quarterback Terry Bradshaw of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In today's video, you'll meet 3 outstanding athletes with ADHD from the current generation. Each has had a unique experience with the condition, but they're all honest about how it helped, hindered, and ultimately shaped them. They serve as reminders that ADD does not have to restrict what people can do in life. Their stories, challenges, and solutions. Starting today's list, we have Justin Gatlin, who is the co-holder of the world record in the 100-meter sprint. Justin Gatlin tied the 100-meter world record on May 13th while competing in a nighttime event in Doha, Qatar, 9.77 seconds. The time was astonishingly 0.09 seconds quicker than his performance at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, which earned him the gold medal. Since then, the 24-year-old native of Brooklyn, New York, has been acclaimed as the world's fastest man. Gatlin's accomplishments on the track go beyond victories over other athletes. They stand for a deeply personal triumph over ADD, a foe who had nearly derailed his entire racing career. Gatlin, who was given the diagnosis in 1st grade, would never claim that ADHD has been a hindrance in and of itself. On the contrary, he claims that his illness fueled his passion for running. Gatlin said that he had been running ever since he was able to walk, and that when in class, he had difficulties focusing, but racing helped him. Gatlin won numerous competitions while still in high school. He could do no wrong. Later, he tested positive for a prohibited substance during his first year at the University of Tennessee and was disqualified from competition for 2 years. What substance was it? Steroids? Development hormone? No, the stimulant he was taking for ADD was to blame. Gatlin subsequently realized that the medicine would have been legal if he had known to submit paperwork, proving that he was using it for medicinal reasons, but he hadn't. Everything I had worked for was going down the drain, he recalled at the time. I cried like a baby. They made me feel like a criminal and a cheater when I had no idea I had done anything wrong. The ban was ultimately lowered to 1 year. Gatlin had to decide whether to keep taking his medications, which helped him maintain his grades, or stop taking them to participate in track. track. He went with the latter. Without his medications, Gatlin struggled to focus. His grades fell drastically. However, things started to get better over time with the aid of tutors and a few easy adjustments, such as a strict no telephone or TV rule during study time. He claimed that whenever he needed to concentrate, he would recall a college buddy who had revealed to him that she had ADD and was enrolled in law school. This memory lingered with him. Gatlin believed that if his friend who has ADD can fulfill her dream, so can he. After his second year, Gatlin resumed his athletic career, but on the track, his attention issues started to show. His focus gradually returned. Nothing could move him when he entered the starting blocks for the 100-meter sprint in Athens. Gatlin quickly clarifies that not all people with ADD can or should stop taking their medication, but he does believe that more individuals ought to take that into account. Next, we have Olympic gold and silver medalist in women's hockey, Cammi Granato. In the history of American women's hockey, Cammi Granato was the player with the most goals scored. At the Nagano Winter Olympics in 1998 and the Salt Lake City Olympics in 2002, she guided her team to gold and silver medals, respectively. She even managed to skate onto the Wheaties cereal box's front. However, Granato's life was a mess off the rink. It became messier as her fame increased. The native of Illinois claimed that her life spiraled out of hand and that she was unable to respond to all of the voicemails and emails she received. Her house was a disaster, and she also neglected to pay her bills. She also acknowledged that despite buying every anti-clutter book available, they ended up adding to her clutter. She attributed the turmoil for many years to simple carelessness, but then she heard a sports psychologist discuss ADHD in 2003. She completely matched the symptoms and sought out medical advice, and the diagnosis was supported. "I've probably had ADHD my entire life," says the Olympic medalist. "Growing up, my parents called me the little tornado, but in a house with 6 kids, my behavior probably seemed normal." Granato says it was a comfort to learn that ADHD was the cause of her inability to handle daily obligations. She had previously thought that she would put off tasks or ignore calls out of laziness, but now that she was aware of the root reason, she could concentrate on finding a fix. Granato set up her payments to be paid automatically in an effort to organize her life. She combined all of her to-do lists into a single document on her laptop and threw away box after box of unnecessary paperwork. However, on August 24, 2005, just as she was putting her personal affairs in order, she suffered a terrible blow to her career when she was cut from the United States women's hockey team. NBC Sports approached Granato a few months before the 2006 Olympic Games to inquire about her interest in traveling to Turin as a sportscaster. It initially seemed like a poor idea. Someone whose entire life had been devoted to playing hockey would find it discouraging to be watching from the sidelines. She was also concerned that her ADHD would cause problems. Fortunately, her husband, Ray Ferraro, a former NHL player and ESPN sportscaster, turned out to be the ideal mentor for her new business. And the last one for today's list, we have the center for the NBA's LA Clippers, Chris Kaman. When Chris Kaman was 2 years old, he received an ADD diagnosis. At age 4, he barred the babysitter from the home so he could practice his cooking skills. When he was 7 years old, he lit a fire outside his Grand Rapids, Michigan home while playing, and the fire service had to put it out. Kaman experienced suspensions frequently in high school. He tended to speak out of turn and get up from his chair. He occasionally would switch off the lights in the classroom for no apparent reason. But Kaman never thought that ADD was a problem. Even while he acknowledges that it occasionally has been difficult for him, he doesn't give it much thought. Even though it was challenging to remain focused in class, Kaman succeeded in one extracurricular activity, basketball. Kaman believed that despite averaging 16.2 points and 13.9 rebounds per game, and helping his team go 24-2 in his senior season to get to the state quarterfinals, he could still be more productive on the floor if not for his medications. He believed they caused him to lose weight and get exhausted. Kaman quit taking his medications when he received a sports scholarship to Central Michigan. He put on the weight he wanted, and both his weight and his grades went up. Even so, Kaman encountered issues once he turned pro and joined the LA Clippers in 2003. Coach of the Clippers, Michael Dunleavy, tried a different approach to communicate with Kaman, showing him what needed to be done instead of telling him. "He found out I'm a visual learner," Kaman explained. "Once he was trying to explain how to do a left-hand drive off my right foot, and I just couldn't do it. Then he did it himself to illustrate, and I got it immediately." Kaman's diligent work and the custom-tailored tutoring started to pay off. Many Kamaniacs, or supporters of Kaman, who attend Clippers games today, use blonde wigs and artificial beards to mimic Kaman's scraggly appearance. And with that, we're wrapping up today's video about the list of famous athletes with ADHD. Do you know of any other athlete who should be included in today's list? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching today's video, and before you go, don't forget to leave a like like and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.